Hello everyone, this is Jeff at Ferrari FXS. Hey, got the new exhaust today for the Lamborghini Gallardo from TopSpeed. So we're going to get prepared to do that on the Lamborghini today. So I'll let you see what it looks like. This is what you get from the TopSpeed. Looks pretty nice. It's nice and shiny. Welds look pretty good. So that's about it. There's just the tips and the exhaust. Like I said, the welds all look nice and shiny. So we'll see how it fits. Other than that, we'll get started on this and see how it goes. So I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is jack the car up and take the wheels off and take the inner fender liners out, and the rear grille here needs to come off too. So we'll get started on that and see how it goes. And on this, there's a couple of different ways you can jack this car per the manual. I think I'm going to prefer the center point in the back right now. There's like the support back there just underneath the gearbox. You can see the framework. You can set a jack there and jack the car from the center, and it'll raise both back wheels up. So I think that's the way I'm going to do this. It's easiest access for everything. So I'm going to get started.
I just want to take a video clip here before I take anything apart. And this is from a cold start. We'll let it run for a few seconds.
Alright, so that's what it normally sounds. That's what it sounds like after you start it. Like I said, the cold start's a little louder until the secondary air turns off. So the normal idle, pretty quiet actually. I kind of have to rev it up here. Alright, so you get a kind of an idea. So we'll have to check it out once we get the other exhaust changed out. But I'm going to continue on. Alright, so we've got the car off the ground, just a couple inches. Like I said, use the center jack point. Like I said, this is in the manual that you can use that as a jack point. And I guess I'll take the wheels off first and then proceed on. Right, so we have both wheels off, and let me see if I can get another picture from this other side. The light's kind of glaring. So I'm going to take this inner fender liner out, and it kind of splits up here at the top, you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out on both sides, and that'll give me access to some of the fasteners for the rear bumper. And like I said, I still have to take this rear grille out yet. So we're going to do that here in a second. But like I said, we're going to do the liners first. All right, these fasteners here are a T20. And then this is a T30 here. And there's another T30 over here. But the rest, I think, are 20s. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and take those out. All right, we have this driver's side liner removed. And then it's got two fasteners here on the bottom that come up to the bottom bumper. So don't forget to take those two out, and those are T20 also. So we've got the driver's side out, and this is kind of what it looks like in there. And you can see that's part of the exhaust right there. So we're going to go ahead and detach the other inner liner on the right-hand side and proceed on. All right, so I've got the inner liners removed on both sides, as you can see. And now I'm going to remove this center grill here. And there are T20s. There's two here, one here, another one here, another one in the center, and then it kind of repeats itself. There's one there, one here, one there, and then two on the end. So that needs to come out, and we're going to go ahead and do that this time. All right, we've got the center grill removed. We have it sitting over here on the box. And then we're going to go ahead and remove, I believe, these fasteners right here. There looks like there's 4. And then there's a few on the bottom. I believe these might have to come out too, up here. I'll have to look at the instructions, but I believe that all has to come loose. And then the few on the bottom that hold this panel on. There's a few fasteners down there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so you want to pull your light assembly out. There's your socket to your right there, and the light, just pull straight out on it. And then you want to remove a couple of the screws. I believe you want to take this one out here. And there's a couple down in here. You want to take out this one here, right here. And I believe this one here, over here on my left. And then one in the back here that attach this heat shield there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I've got the bumper removed. I removed this panel. I didn't have to all the way, but it was just easier. So I just removed all of the screws here on both sides. And like I said, this is the bolt that goes up here on your front portion. And I just kind of loosened, there's 2 bolts back here, which you can see on the inside. I kind of loosened these to kind of loosen this bracket up. So that allows the bumper to kind of slide. So I loosened those. And then, like I said, I was able to slide it off. And then once you get it slid off, you have to disconnect this. I believe it's for your license plate. So don't forget that. And then other than that, it slides right off. So I'm going to proceed on trying to get the muffler out next. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I guess I'm going to remove all this heat shielding. There's a couple places here that need to be detached. Take that out. Probably going to have to take this apart here too. There's a couple of fasteners in here, a few on the sides here, and see how it goes. So I'm going to start taking that apart, and like I said, see how it goes. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to take this rear bumper piece off to give myself more access to everything, which is 4 bolts, 2 on bottom and 2 on the top. I believe that is a T45. It'll be the same on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this bumper piece to get access to all this heat shielding and everything. Don't forget to take your bolts out of the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to do that. Also, don't forget to cut your 3 tie wraps. 1, 2, and there's another one behind here. 3 to release this harness. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, remove the rest of the bolts, and this bumper piece should come off. Also, you're going to have to remove a screw here, 2 on the inside here going vertical. And then, like I said, you have to remove the one here and the one here. And then you'll be able to remove this heat shield. Okay? So I'll point it out on the other side. Two here, 2 in here, this here, this one here, and then it has these like little clips here you might have to release. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. All right, so the next thing that we're going to remove is this air box. We're going to remove all this air box and to gain access to the attach points for the front of the exhaust, and then hopefully be able to remove more of this heat shield. Because I'm at the point where the heat shield is, all the hardware is covered up, and I need to get access to more of it. So that air box is going to have to come out, and then we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I've got the lid of the air box removed. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws to hold the lid on. And then I'll have to take these air filters out, disconnect these connectors here, and then take these mass airflow sensors out to take this lower portion out. So I'm going to go ahead and take those apart. Alright, so we removed this air box, and now we're going to remove the bottom portion, which is held on by a couple screws here. At least there's one here, one on this other side, one on the front here, and I'm assuming there's probably one over here somewhere. We'll go over that in a minute. And then you have to take the upper part of the wheel well apart to remove this duct, and it has a screw that attaches it right here, and then one over on this side. And here it is. So you have to remove these two screws. There's one right here and one right here. So I'll show you when it goes back together. And then these side panels, we remove the side panels here in the engine bay to get access to this area. So we're going to go ahead and remove this air box now. All right, now that we have the air box removed, and like I said, there was 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to disconnect these little side vents here for your intake. Just take a screwdriver and pop those off. And now we have access to the attach point here for our exhaust. So we'll have to loosen those. And then I'm going to try to take some more of this heat shield apart. There's some more screws that are hidden down in here that I'll have to get access to. So I'm going to take part of the heat shield apart. Alright, you have to remove these clamps. These are removed now. You have to take these bolts loose here on this panel here. Just be careful you don't snap at the top, because there's brackets in here that have to come out for this to clear out, because you can see where it was rubbing on here trying to get it out. Got the bolts out from the side here, the mount, exhaust mount here, which that has a spacer, which looks like this. So that, don't forget about the spacer. And then the top bolt is a little longer. It has a spring assembly right here. This housing has to come together. The heat shield comes off with it. Same thing on the other side. There's some screws up here on the top for your heat shield. They have to come out. And then once you get that out far enough, there's some screws, which I took out, which you probably didn't need to do yet. But there's some screws along here that you can get access to and remove those. But right now, I'm going to just try to wiggle it out and see what happens. It's removed. That sucker is heavy. Like I said, I took these screws out here. I don't think you have to, but this has to come out for sure. And then I guess we'll transfer the heat shield over. I know some people don't, some people do. I guess it's your choice, but I'm going to see if I can transfer it and see what happens. If it have a fit problem, I'll take it off, but I'm going to go ahead and try to put the shield on anyway. So to take that off, I'm going to have to take the circlip off here, take this off, and then it'll slide off on both sides. All right, here's the two exhausts next to each other. I have elected to put the heat shield back on. The OEM exhaust is extremely heavy. I bet you it's 50 pounds at least, if not more. So I split the heat shield when I was in the car, but these screws can stay in while it's in the car. So all these screws here I was fighting to get removed, they can stay attached while it's still in the car. I put the circlip springs back on. This kind of slides from one side to the other. You put it over the one side and you slide it over, put it on the other, slide it back. It fits on there pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing reinstalled. So like I said, it's probably 25 pounds lighter. It's quite a bit of difference. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this thing reinstalled. All right, I've installed all the hardware. I've got the tips on. I don't know if they're straight enough. I guess we'll find out when we put the bumper up there. But the clamps are on right there. Don't forget to tighten your clamps over there and right there. I would probably leak check it before you put this back together. Make sure you don't have any leaks. And then don't forget to install your bolts right there and up there on both sides. And we'll continue to install this heat shield in various locations, and then put the bumper back on, and then we'll put the... All right, I've got the bottom part of the air cleaner in there. I had our mass airflow sensors reconnected, clamps hooked up, air filters back in place. Now there's a couple screws here you have to put in for the heat shield. Don't forget those. And now the top here can go back on, and then all your enclosure can go back in up here. Right, I've installed the rest of my enclosures. So those are all installed back in place with the air box. So this is all complete up here. So we're going to go ahead and install the rest of these heat shields and the bumper brackets and stuff like that. So we're going to proceed on. All right, I've got the heat shields all back on. Like you see, I have to put these on here. I kind of messed up. You got to put these on before you put this bumper on, because they go behind it. So don't forget to do that. There's some screws underneath here. Don't forget there's 3 of them. And then all the heat shield seems to be in place except for this bottom piece. This bottom piece gets installed after the bumper. So we're down pretty much to the bumper. Don't forget to put your 10mm nut back on this line here. Cap your line if you're changing the exhaust like I was. Other than that, I have all the screws back up in here, through here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and install the bumper at this point. We're ready to install the bumper. Like I said, heat shield's all back together. Don't forget all your hardware in here on the side and on the inside. Your harness here for your license plate. So we have to hook that up. But anyway, we're going to do that right now and see how it goes. All right, we've got all our screws in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in there. And a couple on the bottom there. As you can see, whether on this side, there's a couple on this side here on both sides. And then don't forget to install your forward bolt here, right there on both sides. And then there's 2 on the back that I had loosened up. They're kind of on that channel. They're underneath that lip. They're number 10. Secure those also. And then don't forget your light. So just push that light in, your side marker. It just kind of slides in there like that. And then we'll put this inner shield in, and then put the inner wheel well back on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, we have the lower heat shield in now with the 4 screws. And we're ready to put the inner fender liner on right now. And then once that's done, we'll put the wheels on. So we're going to go ahead and do that at this time. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is install this rear grate here. The rear grill, we're going to install that. We have the wheel wells all put back together on both sides, and then we'll put the wheels on. So let me go ahead and put that in. All right, so we've got the wheels installed, the rear grill installed, and wheels torqued up. So it's time to start it up and see what she sounds like, and take it for a little spin, I guess.
Seems like it's a little lower tone, but it's hard to tell. We'll let it run here for a few seconds. We'll have to compare the original video to the new video. Alright, that was a cold start. It said not much of a difference. We'll have to see, we'll have to compare the original video and see how it is. But you may not get a real good tone until we go driving. So we'll go ahead and take it for a spin. I'll see how it sounds.